Hey everyone, welcome back. Firstly, thank you so much for the love and support shown on the first video. Very overwhelming, wasn't expecting it, and I wasn't even expecting to even upload that video in the first place. But I remembered it was there, and I thought, you know what, I haven't uploaded in a while, and so I really want to show you guys the process that I go through. Because people obviously have this misconception and assume that things are very quick and easy in the process of doing digital artwork, but that's not always the case. So I really wanted to kind of just dive in and show you guys really as much footage as I could. Of course, 7 hours condensed down to about 10 minutes is quite a lot. However, that 7 hours is just 7 hours of what I recorded. Everything I did off screen was like probably about another day or so that wasn't recorded, because there's a whole process of sketch work that happened beforehand, and there was just like the final touches once a piece is done, or you think it's done. But yeah, so let's get straight into this. Firstly, you're gonna realize that I'm working off a reference, and this isn't just one reference. Now, when I start my pieces, I gather and do research to kind of probably get together about 15 to 20 different references, and that means that I'm really trying to find a bunch of different things that will inspire this new piece, and things that like the correct poses, the correct sort of elements that I want to include into a piece of artwork. So I gather those all into a folder, mishmash all together, and put them into Photoshop, and try and just kind of like puzzle something together. So even what you're seeing here is I'm starting with probably 6 or 7 references pieced together in Photoshop, and then I will sketch on top of that using a Wacom Intuos Pro, which you're seeing as well. So that is kind of like the process of just starting a new piece, and really trying to think about breaking away from the reference as well. So don't just trace on top of the reference, skew some things, move things about, make it more unique. Breaking away from a reference is very important to making something more original, that you can say that, okay, look, you've changed certain things, like maybe the facial expression, the pose, the setting behind. It can be anything, but as long as the reference is there to kind of give you a guide of perspective and proportion, because sometimes that's the most difficult thing for artists to like kind of imagine or just kind of go out on their own, but yeah, so firstly I just want to kind of like really kind of tell you guys how a piece is, the kind of structure that I go through, right? So I always start with the eyes. That's kind of my base point. I always start with the eyes. That's just a thing that I do. Eyes, and I really like probably do about 8 to 10 layers, even just working on the eyelashes, the pupils, the highlights, the shading, the white parts as well. And then I would go for the eyebrows, nose, mouth, and then the face. So then everything behind that. So I'm kind of working with what I can see for myself is the most foreground thing in the piece of artwork that I'm trying to create. So from there, I have the face, and then I'm building around that. So then I work neck, chest, and then everything down from there. Anything behind would probably be things like the hair, the junni, and yeah, just kind of like, and then the background. A lot of the color work would happen after doing line work. Sometimes I would kind of skip the line work stage and just go straight to color, literally for the sake of saving time, honestly, because there's so much work to be done sometimes, rather than doing sketch work, line work, and then going back through every single layer. And that means nearly 500 to 600, 800 layers, depending on what I've done. Going through each one of those layers and coloring each one separately, and that can definitely add on the hours, so to reduce that time, I am really diving in and just kind of like going straight for the colors straight away. Now, colors, a lot of you will see when I'm working on color work, this grid pops up of just a ton of spectrums of colors. So these are gradients that I've just downloaded over time, and these are like years and years of just downloading free gradient packs, and these are always available on different websites that you can just download for free. Photoshop gradients, you can have shapes, you can have brushes, but I love my gradients. They definitely help me kind of go with the flow and try out a bunch of different colors. If something works, it works, and I tend not to question it too much. I know I'm talking a lot, but I just want to kind of get these points across, just so that you guys get a better understanding of what I'm doing, and I hope it helps. If anyone takes anything away from this, then please, I'm glad it can help in any sort of way. And I understand that everyone's process is different. Maybe you don't start with the eyes, maybe you don't start with a sketch, and your process is totally different to mine. But that's what's special about everyone's artistic kind of perception. Their kind of journey and process is different. So definitely stick to that. Don't just do things like me because I do them. So keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, I use gradients and then I go in with shading. So I did touch on this in the last video, and I hope it's quite clear how I do my shading. I have often 2 or 3 shading dark layers, so that those are layered on top of each other, and then the opacity is taken down on each one, just so that you kind of see a gradual build up of an edge, and how it shows the roundness of an arm, for say, and then the highlight, which would be down the middle. I'm just kind of gauging an idea and just kind of thinking about it myself, so I'm not using any references for shading. I'm often just kind of thinking what I think is correct, and it's probably not, but for me it is. So yeah, this is my Milkshake Maharani. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna let the video play out now, and yeah, let me know, guys, what you think, and be sure to see you on the next one. Comment, like, share, and peace, love. Thank you very much.